So after my crushes video, I had kind of planned to have a second video, kind of like a follow-up or a side story to it. I'd mentioned that I didn't want to add my crush on Facebook because this was the first crush that I've had in real life in a very long time, and I want it to be real. And this is a very complicated subject to talk about because I've spent so much of my life online, and I'm a fierce defender of like internet friendships are real, and the internet is a very real place where communities happen, and it's true. But I think it's just that I've been having these moments where I'm like, I've spent too much of my life online. I think an internet life is great, but I don't think it should be your whole life. I don't want to speak for everybody. I'm not trying to preach. I'm just talking about myself, because I live very vicariously online, to the point where I didn't know how to interact in real life anymore, or I was getting panic attacks at school or to the movies because I was like, there's people, and I don't know how to people anymore. And especially because of my job, I was worried. I was like, I'm gonna have coworkers and managers and customers, and I'm doing it. And I'm doing it well. It's so much interaction, and I'm not like the token weird kid. Like, people like me, people want to talk to me. I went to the movies today and everyone was like, hi! And I prefer real life now. And I don't want my crush, or any crush, to be online anymore. Like, it makes me sad. I feel like I'm like betraying my people, but I didn't want to add him on Facebook because I use the internet as something to hide behind. I use it as a shield of like, look how smart I am because I know things. I shared this article. I use GIFs and I try to be sarcastic and I try to be funny, and it's still me, but it's so perfectly crafted. It's not really me. I'm so picky about like my selfies, and then I'm at work where people have to see me in a goofy hat and my hair isn't brushed and my makeup is smeared, and people, they still want to talk to me. They still look really happy to talk to me, to see my face, even if it's covered in butter. I didn't want to add my crush on Facebook because I was scared I was gonna see him post something that I didn't agree with and the crush would be over. And that's so ridiculous that my feelings are that fragile. People were like, oh, well, if you add him or you talk to him more and you find out he's like a jerk, well, cut your losses. And it's like, it couldn't be that fast. Because I know that that's what I would do. I would see him post something and I'd be like, oh, whatever, it's over. I've been talking to him for at least a month. I've been hanging out with him at work and laughing and smiling till my face hurts. And a meme shouldn't contradict that. It shouldn't get in the way of that. And I don't think it would. But I was scared. And then I added him on Facebook. After everything, I added him on Facebook because I want to get to know him more, and I can't make those opportunities always happen at work. I'm not always going to have 8 hours of alone time with him. That's not always going to happen. I'm not always going to just so happen to walk into work with him at the same time or happen to clock out at the same time. That's not how it's going to be. If I want to get to know him, I'm going to have to talk to him, and I'm going to have to talk to him using the technology to my advantage. And it's terrifying because right away I added him and my friend told me to ask him out. And I thought about it. I was like, it would be so easy to just type the message and hit send. But I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to use the internet to help me do something that I shouldn't need help doing. I don't want to be one of those people, but 10-ish, 20 years ago, if you have older siblings or your parents, they didn't have Facebook or text messages to ask people out. They would just ask people out. They quite literally used their words. I've never asked a guy out. I like to think I have because I've texted it or I Facebook messaged it, but that doesn't count, does it? Because I send it and I can close it and I can walk away and pretend it never happened. And I don't want to do that this time. I'm not saying I'm planning a relationship with this guy, but I kind of want to use this at least as experience points. I want to tell him that, you know what, hey, I have a crush on you. It's not a huge deal, but I do have a crush on you, and if you want to do something about it, cool, and if not, cool. Part of it is also that I'm 26. I'm at that point in my life where I look back and I see all those moments where I didn't speak up, where I didn't tell someone how I felt, where I tried to find ways around it. I remember I told one guy in a note that I liked him, but I folded it in a paper heart and I didn't tell him that the heart was a note. So to this day, I don't even know if he opened it. For all I know, he probably threw it away. There were so many chances that I didn't take. And I hate looking back and saying, what would have happened if I had told them? Lay it all out. That's what I want to do. I don't want to use the internet in this way anymore. I want to use my words. I feel like a hypocrite because I made this big deal of like, I don't want to add him on Facebook, and then I added him. But the thing is that I need to use the technology to my advantage, and the plan is to not hide behind it. So that's what I'm gonna try to do, and I guess you guys will be updated on it. Yeah.